DonInLondon, hello, October the 31st, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction, either to substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, and my behaviour, trying to be the best I could, and worse, trying to be perfect. And I was never so. So if I wasn't drinking, I would cross-addict into behaviour, workaholic, relationshipaholic, any olic you can think of, any ism, collecting, I don't know, people, places, things, all those aspects of wanting and wanting and wanting, and never knowing really what I needed. And what I needed more than anything was to find myself. And these days I find myself on a daily basis. Who am I? How am I feeling? Why? What can I do about it? And to be open, honest and willing to change my behaviour on a daily basis so I may continue in recovery. And what helps me more than anything, or what helped me along the way? Family, friends, community, professionals kept me alive long enough to have clarity around where I was and how I got there. And rock bottom was pretty awful, a place where I was completely isolated, alienated by me from the rest of the world. I'm not able to cope anymore. And it got worse. I got homeless, and the world got even more difficult, and my life became more difficult. So abject misery, fear, putting on a brave face, judging the world as I lay in the gutter, actually. And what a sorry state. So these days I'm very grateful to be sober one day at a time. So what helps me now is fellowship, the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Not for everyone, I know, but it works for me. And there's a statement of intent shared at the beginning of every meeting I go to, and a general statement of intent as well. It's called the AA Preamble, and it goes like this, and I share it because it slows me down into this one precious moment we have, reality, imperfectly perfect, right now. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So some of the most important parts in that for me, only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking, and our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. What a gift to become part of a fellowship which helps me keep sober a day at a time, offers me 12 steps of change in my attitude and behaviour to make life even more interesting and keep me focused on living in one day, a one-day program where 12 steps of action can keep me safe. And once I learned those 12 steps of action to change attitude and behaviour, they're in me. It's like a process of learning how to live well, to enjoy what is going on if it's to be enjoyed, and to be sad if the world is sad or my world is sad. So I know where I am with my feelings on a daily basis. So this program gave me emotional sobriety, a spiritual understanding of how to live life in the moment of now, and to make the best of what is, rather than be worrying about what might be. So all good. I'm just going to shut one door here. Lots of noises off. Powerless over people, places and things, and noisy dogs who live next door, and drilling from somewhere around the vicinity. Anyway, one of the things I wrote on my blog, or mentioned, great expectations, no reality, and no expectations, possible realities, or great realities. Yes, I nearly fluffed on that. Great expectations, no reality. No expectations, great reality. And somewhere there is balance in that. So I utilise prayer and meditation on a daily basis to help me make sense of where I am today. And I don't lose sight of the dreams I have of being me, just being me on a daily basis. And the programme helps. And I use the literature, daily reflections, 1 page a day to help me, and as Bill sees it here, the main ones I use. And 12 steps of action: to be open, honest and willing. Step 10 was October, 12 steps, 12 months. So this daily reflection book has been paramount in my mind. And for October 31st, although it doesn't talk about step 10, which is doing personal inventory on a daily basis, it does sort of gel. It says here, avoiding controversy. All history affords us the spectacle of striving nations and groups finally torn asunder because they were designed for or tempted into controversy. Others fell apart because of sheer self-righteousness, while trying to enforce upon the rest of mankind some millennium of their own specification. In other words, if we think we're right and we're going to judge people and impose our will on them, we are going to get into controversy and conflict. And it goes on to say here, as an AA member and sponsor, I know I can cause real damage if I yield to temptation and give opinions and advice on another's medical, marital or religious problems. I am not a doctor, counsellor or lawyer. I cannot tell anyone how he or she should live. However, I can share how I came through similar situations without drinking, and how AA's 12 steps and traditions helped me in dealing with my life. And the gift in that for me: I am not a doctor, counsellor or lawyer. I cannot tell anyone how he or she should live. However, I can share how I came through similar situations without drinking. So it's about sharing experience, strength and hope on a daily basis, and by virtue of just going to a meeting, either as a newcomer with no sobriety, or being there for 47 years and lots of sobriety, we all face the same things on the same day. And life experience gives us the wisdom, experience of living life sober, and where we've come from when we weren't sober, gives us knowledge of the difference of what is important to us. And this thing of judging people, if we sit in a room full of fellowship people and judge them as different and in some way not special, then we are doing ourselves a disservice. We are similar in one respect, that we need not take a drink on a daily basis, and the wisdom is there and shared that we can keep on going. So judgment doesn't help us too well, except one: the judgment is possibly to find ways not to drink on a daily basis. So I'm grateful for that. And as Bill sees it today, I do these linearly. It talks about single-handed combat on page 245. Few indeed are those who, assailed by the tyrant alcohol, have ever won through in single-handed combat. It is a statistical fact that alcoholics almost never recover on their own personal resources alone, because we get isolated, excluded, and rely on our own self-will. And self-will in addiction runs riot and becomes obsessive to the point where we're striving and trying not to drink, but every fibre of us, emotionally, spiritually and physically, is saying drink, 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 because the craving and the addiction is there. Continuing, it says, way up toward Point Barrow in Alaska, a couple of prospectors got themselves a cabin and a case of scotch. The weather turned bitter, 50 below, and they got so drunk they let the fire go out, barely escaping death by freezing. One of them woke up in time to rekindle the fire. He was prowling around outside for fuel, and he looked into an empty oil drum filled with frozen water. Down in the ice cake he saw a reddish-yellow object. When thawed out, it was seen to be an AA book. One of the pair read the book and sobered up. Legend has it that he became the founder of one of the farthest north groups. And for me, it's a homily, a story, and it could be true. The gift, though, is, as we find acceptance in every day, not great expectations and no reality, and great realities and no expectations. It's somewhere in the balance. The acceptance prayer of serenity to God of your choosing or good conscience. God, or in good conscience, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is just for today.